It was supposed to be a simple day. He just needed to cash a check. Jonathan Carter, a hard-working man, walked up to the grand doors of the city's oldest bank. He had been here before, but something felt different today. As he stepped forward, the security guard blocked his way. "Sorry, sir, but you can't enter," the guard said firmly. Jonathan frowned. "Why not?" "I just need to cash a check." The guard's eyes flickered with something Jonathan had seen too many times before: discomfort, maybe even shame. But the words that came next were cold. "Bank policy." Jonathan glanced around. Other customers, mostly white, walked in and out without trouble. His chest tightened. "What kind of policy stops me but lets them in?" he asked, his voice calm but firm. The guard sighed, looking away. "I don't make the rules." Jonathan felt a familiar sting in his heart. He had worked too hard, built too much, and come too far to be treated like this. But he wasn't about to argue. Not here. Not now. Instead, he turned away, his mind already racing with a different plan. That night, Jonathan couldn't sleep. He thought about the generations before him, his grandfather, who once had to count his money twice to make sure he wasn't cheated. His father, who had to take out loans at ridiculous interest rates just because the banks didn't trust a black man to pay them back. And now him, being refused at the door like he didn't belong. But Jonathan wasn't just any man. He was a fighter, a dreamer, and, most importantly, a businessman. He had built his wealth from the ground up, turning small investments into big opportunities. And now, he had one more investment to make. Over the next few months, Jonathan put his plan into motion. He gathered his resources, called in favors, and worked through every legal loophole he could find. He met with investors, ran the numbers, and studied the bank's weaknesses. He learned everything there was to know about its operations, its board members, and even its debts. He attended financial seminars, read every banking regulation book he could find, and surrounded himself with experts who believed in his vision. And then, one day, he did what no one saw coming. He bought the bank. The very same bank that had refused him at the door. When the announcement was made, whispers spread like wildfire. Employees exchanged nervous glances. Customers murmured in surprise. Executives who had once looked down on him now had no choice but to call him sir. And as Jonathan walked through those same grand doors, this time with the keys in his pocket, he saw the security guard. The same one who had turned him away. The man looked stunned, his face turning pale. "Mr. Carter. I didn't know." Jonathan met his eyes, his voice steady. "You didn't have to know. You just had to do the right thing." The guard swallowed hard, unsure of what to say. But Jonathan didn't dwell on it. He had bigger plans. His first order of business? Changing the bank's policies. No more discrimination. No more closed doors. He hired a diverse staff, provided fair loans to black and minority entrepreneurs, and made sure that no one else would ever feel the humiliation he felt that day. But Jonathan didn't stop there. He set up financial literacy programs to teach people how to manage their money, invest wisely, and build generational wealth. He partnered with community organizations to help small businesses thrive. He made sure that his bank was more than just a place to store money, it was a place that empowered people. He also reached out to other banks, forming alliances with financial institutions that were willing to adopt fair lending practices. He started mentorship programs for young black men and women interested in finance, ensuring that future generations had the tools and knowledge to succeed. He used his influence to push for legislation that promoted equal access to banking, knowing that real change had to happen beyond just his institution. Months later, as he sat in his office, a place he had never imagined himself being, he looked out at the lobby. A black mother helping her son open his first savings account. A small business owner shaking hands over a loan approval. An elderly man cashing his check without fear. A young couple sitting with a banker, learning how to buy their first home. A college student opening their first bank account, hopeful for a brighter future. Jonathan leaned back in his chair, taking it all in. He had once been denied entry to this very building. Now, he owned it. And more importantly, he had turned it into a symbol of hope and change. A knock at the door interrupted his thoughts. His assistant stepped in. "Mr. Carter, there's someone here to see you." Jonathan stood up, straightening his tie. "Send them in." As the door opened, he saw an older woman, her hands trembling slightly as she clutched a worn-out purse. "I don't know if you remember me," she said hesitantly. "Years ago, this bank denied me a loan to start my business. I just wanted to say, thank you for making sure that doesn't happen to anyone else." Jonathan felt a lump form in his throat. He reached out, shaking her hand firmly. "You're welcome. And if you ever need anything, this bank is here for you." She smiled, wiping a tear from her eye before turning to leave. Jonathan exhaled, looking around his office once more. This wasn't just about him anymore. It was about his community. His people. The future. And in that moment, Jonathan smiled. Because he hadn't just bought a bank. He had rewritten history. Hello, amazing viewer. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more awesome content, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. I'd also love to hear your thoughts in the comments section below. Let me know what you think. And if you found this video helpful or entertaining, please share it with your friends and family. Your support means the world to me and helps this channel grow. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.